Hi guys, I'm Gasha. Welcome to the channel and to our coffee times together. Today I'm here to talk to you about some of the books that I would love to read in May, and hopefully I'll be able to get to all of these. I decided to make a short list this month so that I have more freedom when it comes maybe to add books to the list. So let's check them out.
It's coffee time!
Unfortunately, and even though the April month I started super strong with my TBR and I read so much at the beginning of the month, right on the 4th of April I got an eye infection that I am still kind of carrying a little bit. I had to go twice to the eye clinic. I'm a little bit better now, but we shall see. And you know, that basically made me not want to read so much because my eye was bothering me so much and I didn't want to overdo it with the reading. So in April I didn't read as much as I wanted to. So a couple of the books that I would like to read in May are books that I didn't get to in April. I decided to put a TBR pile of only 9 books because if I manage to read all of them, then I have the freedom to add whichever book to the TBR pile, but there is 9 that I would really like to get to for different reasons. So let's talk about those. The first one is Thunderhead because I finally read Scythe last month. It was on my TBR pile from 2019, and I believe before that I already wanted to read the trilogy, but since the last book came out I was like, you know what, I really need to make it happen in 2020. So I buddy read the first book on Arc of a Scythe, and I buddy read it with Ola from Ola Magic, and you know, I love her and we had such a nice time reading this together and we enjoyed it for our different reasons, common reasons. It was just such great fun that we decided to buddy read the second one as well. In case you haven't heard about the concept of this book, even though I think by now everybody must have heard about it, we are living in a distant future in which humans have been able to cure all sickness, all catastrophes, everything. It doesn't happen anymore, so people just don't die of natural causes anymore. They don't die because of age, because of illnesses. And so in order to keep the population control, the population numbers, they decide to create this figure called Scythe, which is basically the Reaper, and they decide who has to die in order to keep the population numbers controlled. The second book that I want to read in May is actually a book that I wanted to read in April and I didn't get to, and that is The Truth by Nick Carter. I know most of you have already read this book and told me you really enjoyed it, so I have to. Plus this is a body horror, which is something that I normally really enjoy. That's something weird to say, but I kind of like those stories also in movies, not just in books. And this is about a group of scouts that I think they go in the wilderness in Canada, and they are at the bonfire telling the typical ghost stories when an intruder comes in, and apparently he's a carrier of some sort of virus or something. I'm hoping that this time I'm gonna be able to really get to it because this has been already, I think, in 1 or 2 of my TBR piles and it still has not happened. Book number 3 is the other book that I had put on my TBR pile for April, but I didn't get to it, and that is The Cheerleaders by Cara Thomas. This is another kind of thriller slash horror story. And this time we are in a town in which cheerleaders are no longer. Basically all the cheerleaders died in a matter of like weeks or something like that, and it kind of evolves on what happened to them and why the cheerleaders have been dying. Sounds super interesting to me, and I hope that this month I can finally get to it. In order to give myself a break, I wanted to add a little graphic novel here. So we're gonna be reading Heartstopper Volume 3. I got this on the mail not long ago and I've absolutely loved the first 2 volumes. So I cannot wait to see what our characters are doing in Volume 3, where the story is taking us. And this is a very cute, sad, hard-hitting, heartwarming boy-boy romance. The next one I am like super duper excited about, and it is a new release that I have still not hauled for you guys because it just got in the mail, and that is If It Bleeds by Stephen King, your one and only. This is a collection of 4 stories, and one of the stories that is in this book serves as a sequel to The Outsider, so I am so excited. It's kind of like a standalone sequel. I don't know if you can read it without having read The Outsider, but I do recommend you to check out The Outsider. It's a very kind of weird mix of genres, and I really enjoyed it personally. So in all of these dark times, having this book, having a new Stephen King release, is making me stupidly happy. The next 2 books that I added to my May TBR pile are 2 2020 horror/thriller releases, because as you know guys, I want to read more new releases, and the first one is The Familiar Dark by Amy Engel. This is a small town thriller in which a mother doesn't want to stop the investigation on the death of her daughter. She wants to really get to the bottom of it. Everybody in this small town doesn't seem to be bothered about people being murdered, and she wants to get to the bottom of it, see why everybody in town seems to just accept these kind of things that are happening. Sounds really good to me, and I'm really excited for this one. And the other new release is Pine by Francine Toon, and this one sounded super intriguing to me because we have Lauren, and she's driving home with her father when they see this woman coming out of the woods, and they pick her up, bring her home, but the next morning she's gone, and apparently a lot of different weird things start to happen around the town, and Lauren starts to use tarot cards to try to figure out what's happening. Sounds just so good to me, and it's one of the other thriller/horror new releases that I would really wanted to check out. So finally I have a copy, and I'm really excited for these 2 thrillers that I've just mentioned. They're kind of thriller combined with horror, but I hope that they're going to be good. Then there are 2 more that I would like to mention, which are books that I have pending to read for NetGalley. One of them is a new release for the month of May of 2020, and the other one is one that I've had on my NetGalley for a while, and I really want to get to it. The first one is Tomb of Gods by Brian Moreland, and I picked this one on NetGalley because this is a horror take on Egypt and the pyramids and all that has to do with the Egyptian tombs and things like that. So hell yeah. So I will be reporting about this one to let you guys know if it was any good, but I'm really excited about this because I've always loved Egypt and the whole culture and art, so I'm super pumped for this. Then we have Miracle Creek by Angie Kim, and this one, since the moment that it came out, I had it basically on my radar and I never really got to buy the book, but then I saw it on NetGalley and I got a copy of it, and it's been sitting there, so I think it is now time. We are living in a village in which there is this kind of medical center that it's supposed to treat and cure diseases that range from, you know, the most normal things like not being able to get pregnant to autism, like complete different range of things. And one day there is an explosion in this clinic, and apparently the explosion was not an accident. So I love everything that has to do with clinics and treating of diseases and cures and things like that, and I am really excited about this one as well. So these are the official 9 books that I have put on my TBR pile for the month of May. I hope to have better luck than I had in April, and I hope my eye is not gonna bother me too much so that I can get through all of these books, because I'm really excited to be reading a lot of new releases. Let me know down below, what are you going to be reading in May? Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up for support. If you want to follow me in other social media, the links as always are down below, and I hope to see you all in the next copy time. Bye!